Susan Schuneman is the Executive Director for the Piedmont Rape Crisis Center located in rural North Georgia. Because of the impact sexual violence has played in her own personal life, Susan finds joy in working to guide others to a place of healing. Through years of hard work, she learned to both embrace and purge the trauma and discovered forgiveness, recovery, and wholeness. Susan now lends her time to speak her truth throughout Georgia and beyond in hopes that it might inspire the broken, change perceptions, and affect mindsets. Having found victory over victimization, Susan's message is simple. There is life abundant after sexual violence. Without further ado, I want you to join me in welcoming Susan back to Savannah.
It is so hard to put into a couple of mere words what this night means to me. It's been 30 years in the making. Typically, when I speak, it's for law enforcement. And when I do that, it is extremely brutal because what happened to me was extremely brutal. Somewhere, someone in this moment is being raped. And this is a crime I would not wish upon anyone. My life has been impacted many times by the crime of sexual violence. As a small child, it was two very close family members who molested and raped me for several years. I was between the ages of 8 to 10, and it interrupted, I believe, the person that God intended me to be. I remained silent. And in middle school, it was a group of boys that every day on my way to one of my classes on the hall, they would drag me into a room and sexually assault me. I didn't know that that was what it was then. I just knew that it was painful, and I was humiliated and extremely broken from it. I remained silent. I used a payphone one night, and my phone call was interrupted by a complete stranger. And he proceeded to ask me for directions. Shortly after that, he held a gun to my head. He cocked the gun. He held the gun up against my heart, and he forced me to walk about 8 to 10 blocks to Gwinnett Street with him. 1 block, less than 1 block, from where he'd asked for directions. And he forced me into an alleyway and then into the back of some row houses. And these row houses, back in '85, were abandoned. I was forced at gunpoint to take my clothes off, and then he's standing directly in front of me, and he shoots me in my lower right abdomen. Underneath that house, I was tormented, I was beaten, I was sodomized, and I was raped again and again. And what we didn't know then, but we would learn later that night, is that that bullet had hit my liver and my colon, and it lodged at the lower part, the lower base of my spine, 1/4 of an inch from my spine. I never cried. I never argued. I was extremely pissed off. I did what I had to do. And I kept thinking, if I can survive this, if I just do what he tells me to do, I'm going to live. And that was the hope. And it would be many years before I would process this. But what I did that night under that house had served me well as a small child. And I was able to leave my body. And I believe that helped save me that night. Learning all I could regarding sexual violence, which ended up helping me to realize I was not to blame. Almost 30 years ago, my path intersected with evil. Had my course deviated at all, that fateful night, my journey may have looked differently. For every loss, there has been immeasurable gain. Forever grateful, wouldn't change a damn thing. I'm going to continue seeking beauty in the broken, and I charge each of you to do the same. Thank you, and God bless.